Welcome to the Tinley Chamber Spotlight Show. I'm your host for today, Garrett Gray. And now we're into the month of April. And as they often say, April showers bring May flowers. But with the crazy weather we've been having these days, that's not much of a guarantee that we'll have them. But I'm going to make you a personal guarantee tonight about today's show. I guarantee you that we have a great show lined up for you. We have three dynamic guests who are all members of the Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce. And they're here to discuss their businesses and how they may benefit you. So without further ado, let me introduce our first guest, and he is the Vice President for the state of Illinois for Legal Shield. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Mel Roberson. Welcome to the show, Mel.
Thank you, Garrett. Good to be here.
I'm glad to have you here. Now, tell me, Mel, what is Legal Shield and how does it work exactly?
Well, Legal Shield is a system by which our nationwide member base, they pay a flat monthly fee to have unlimited access to top-rated attorneys across the country. I guess the best way I could explain it is kind of like AAA, because you're a member, if you run out of gas or lock your keys in the car, have a flat tire, you call AAA, and basically the collective buying power of millions of people gives you access to great tow trucks. You know, you get a good tow truck when a AAA guy comes. And Legal Shield is the same way, except it's for attorneys. We do what major medical is supposed to do for doctor and hospital bills. So you pay a flat monthly fee and you have access to our nationwide network of top-rated attorneys. We do this for individuals. We do it as an employee benefit for companies. We do it for small business owners. We do it for commercial drivers. So we kind of have plans to cover everybody.
Excellent. And how long has this program been around, and how long have you been affiliated with the program?
We were founded in 1972. A gentleman by the name of Harlan Stone Cipher was in an accident that wasn't his fault. He got sued for it, had to shell out a bunch of money, and he realized that legal insurance would be important. As a matter of fact, 80% of the European population already has something like this. And so he founded the company. We've been around since 1972, and I've been with the company for a little over 15 years now.
Wow. And that's awesome. So the founder turned a negative into a positive and made some money off of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what is your initial motivation for going into the field?
I had a consulting business before this, before I went full-time with Legal Shield. And when I found out about the service, it was something that I just started offering to my client base. But eventually, we helped so many people, and the income became good enough for me to, phase out my consulting business. But really, for me, it's about the membership. It's about what we do for people, giving people who normally may not have the $200, $300, $400, $500 an hour to spend on an attorney, giving them that affordable access, but still quality access. And even if, we have some wealthy people too. Wealthy people are wealthy because they keep their money.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
Wealthy people have health insurance, right? They don't say, oh, I'd rather pay full price for a doctor. So yeah, we do the same thing for legal.
Excellent. So who are some of your ideal clients or customers for Legal Shield?
Well, anybody who's adulting,
Explain that.
See, this is for people that are advancing in life. We're not looking for criminals. We're not looking for people that want to go out and break the law. Some of the services that we have just give you access to attorneys when you need it, because in America, it's less expensive to get taken advantage of than it is to protect your rights.
Oh, yeah.
So if you need a letter or a phone call written, or if you need a will done or something like that, or want a will done, 7 out of 10 people in America don't have a will right now. So, people that want to get a comprehensive will and testament, living will, healthcare power of attorney, just anything, We had a situation where a gentleman had ordered a product, an acne product for his daughter, and they put him on this auto ship, and they were sending it to him. He's like, hey, I didn't ask for auto ship. I only ordered it once. And they were trying to charge it for him. And it was only like $40. But he's like, look, I sent it back. I'm not paying for it. Right. And they were like, well, we're going to put it on your credit. And who wants $40 messing up their credit?
Absolutely.
He called Legal Shield. They wrote a letter on his behalf, got the thing taken care of. Now, who's going to call a $300 an hour attorney for a $40 situation? So,
exactly.
Pretty much anybody can be a good candidate for us.
Now, that's a pretty good benefit. Now, there's another benefit that I've heard about that Legal Shield is second to none with, and that is identity theft.
Yes.
Could you explain that?
So we have a program called ID Shield also, and a lot of people, when they think about identity theft, they only think about financial issues, not realizing, Garrett, that what if I had a driver's license that had my picture, but your information.
Oh, yeah.
You know, not realizing that there are situations where people go create income in other people's names or commit crimes in other people's names. So our identity theft program is not just about protecting your credit, it's about your whole identity. And we have an identity theft product for children as well. So if you have a family, we'll cover your children as well, because children are victims of identity theft. You could compare us to any other product out here. I'm not here to tear anybody else down, but you know, if you compared us side by side, we do a lot more than any other identity theft program out there.
Wow. That's astonishing. Children are the victims of identity.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. Now, how does Legal Shield qualify the attorneys that they give to their clients?
It's a great question. There's a company called Martindale Hubbell who's been a rating attorney firms since the late 1800s. And so we hand select our firms based on their rating. The majority of our firms are AV rated, Alpha Victor, which is the highest rating that an attorney could get.
Good.
So, you know, you're not getting a paralegal or a law school student or My Cousin Vinny, if you remember that movie.
Yeah, I do.
You're getting great attorneys across the board. And it's a nationwide program.
Excellent, excellent. Now, does Legal Shield have checkup for customer satisfaction?
Absolutely.
And how does that work?
So we survey the members after they've had a situation with the law firm. So we do random surveys. Also, too, if the member has a situation where they don't feel they got the care, concern, and commitment that they deserve, they can contact their rep who wrote them up, or you know, call in to customer service. And then as a third-party administrator, we check the law firm to see what happened, where was the breakdown. We want to specialize in giving good bedside manner. I think some attorneys out there, they want to do well in the world, but they just haven't been trained with bedside manner. And so that's something that we pride ourselves in.
Excellent. And you get the feedback to make that product even better for the customer.
Absolutely.
Well done. Now, what about those non-believers that say, oh, I only need one family lawyer? Do you think one lawyer can do it all?
Well, you know, there used to be a time where one doctor would show up to the house. He would take care of mom, dad, kids, even the horse, right? But now doctors specialize and lawyers do, just like doctors do. So, you know, I wouldn't go to the chiropractor if I had dental issues. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
So I wouldn't call a tax attorney if I had traffic tickets,
right.
Which is something that we do, you know, to try to keep the points off of people's license. So with Legal Shield, you get a nationwide network of law firms to cover pretty much every area of law.
Excellent. And that makes sense too. If you have an attorney who doesn't specialize, they'll spend more time, more hourly rate, and your costs will go up.
Exactly. I heard a story, I don't know the validity of it, but I heard that Mike Tyson hired a tax attorney for his criminal trial, and we see where that got him.
Absolutely.
So,
you have to match the skill to the problem.
there you go.
Absolutely. Now, the legal landscaping is always fluid. Are there any future plans for Legal Shield? You mentioned that you have apps to call up the attorneys from Legal Shield.
Yeah. I'm really excited about our apps. You know, your telephone is basically the remote control of your life. We do everything from our phones. So we have apps now where people can access their law firm immediately. They can access their ID Shield immediately. They can see their credit score immediately through ID Shield. So through all of our apps, you could access the various services that we have and get directly to who you need to get to.
Excellent. Well, we're running out of time. Can you have a final message, or do you have a final message for the viewers about Legal Shield?
The final message I would say is, you know, we are here to serve. We are here to make sure that average, everyday, middle-income Americans, up to wealthy Americans, have access to their rights. If you don't know your rights, you don't have any. So through Legal Shield, from the traumatic to the trivial, we have you covered.
Excellent. Mel Roberson, Legal Shield. Very well. This is good information, whether you're looking into getting a will or getting out of that traffic ticket. Look into Legal Shield. Thanks for being on the show, Mel.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
My second guest is the chapter director for Orland Tinley Park for the Dynamic Professional Women's Network. Please welcome Kelly Burke to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and Kelly, I hear some good news that you just had a baby son.
Yes.
You look great, by the way.
Well, thank you.
What is your son's name?
Jameson.
Oh, now, Kelly, what is Dynamic Professional Women's Network?
So we are a women's networking group that sort of the thing that makes us unique is we are single category. So for instance, we have one insurance agent, one mortgage broker, one attorney, sort of that sort of thing. So that's what makes us unique, if you will.
Okay, and so since you're the director of Orland, Tinley Park area, if somebody came and said, like you're in insurance, if they were doing insurance, they could not be in that chapter, they'd have to go to a adjacent chapter.
So I don't want to say definitely that's a no. So
Sure.
I have had other insurance agents, for instance, it's a perfect example, come on to our group or come into our setting and sort of negotiate certain products. So for instance, I specialize in personal lines insurance, so auto, home, life, and health insurance, for instance. So I have had other opportunities where I had another girl, for instance, come in and she specialized in auto and home insurance, for instance. So we would work that out where she would just do the home and the auto insurance and I would still continue with the life and the health insurance. So it can be negotiated. However, if it is a category that somebody says, I absolutely do not want to split it with anyone else, then yes, they could go on to a different group.
Okay, excellent. Now, when was the Dynamic Professional Women's Network founded, and who founded it?
So technically it was founded 13 years ago. Christy Ruffino is the founder. She's still active. She still comes out to our meetings. Our group, our specific group, has been around for about 10 years.
Okay.
And I've been a member I'm going on my 7th year this year.
Okay, and how long have you been the chapter director?
So chapter director, I'm going on, this will be 1 year.
Wow, well, congrats.
Thanks.
That's a good anniversary. And I've seen Christy Ruffino speak. She's excellent. She's a winner, and I can see why she's like a driving force behind this excellent organization. Now, what was your personal motivation for joining this organization?
So when I joined, so 2010, I started looking around for networking groups that I had heard other people talk about, specifically women's networking groups, sort of joining forces with other women, sort of that girl power kind of thing. So, so I found this group, this specific group is right in my sort of hometown in the area that I do most of my business, so it worked out well, and obviously I stayed for 7 years.
Absolutely not. Was it? I guess it was worth it, but could you tell us how it was worth it?
Sure. So I will say it does, like any networking group, it's all a matter of what you put into it, meaning do you work with the others? Are you trying to get referrals for other people? That sort of thing. Are you taking the time to get to know the other people in your group? So the first year, it was sort of rough, if you will. I mean, I probably sold one policy, maybe. I always look at it as, is it enough to pay for my membership? So year one, it was enough to just break even. So I continued that, and then year two, year three, year four, that sort of thing, those referrals just quadrupled.
Wow.
And you know, now I think I did the math last year. I had enough for 1 year to pay for my membership for about 10 years. So certainly it made it worth it to continue to keep up with it.
Well, that is awesome, and my next question was going to be, what is the biggest benefit? But that sounds like the profit margin. But what is some of the other benefits for being a member? You mentioned the networking and also the profitability. But what are some other aspects that you just, on a personal level, enjoy?
So on a personal level, I mean, for one, of course, it's category specific. So I love that you're not, especially as an insurance agent, any networking event that I go to, there's 5 other insurance agents in the room.
Oh.
So this is kind of neat that it's category specific. So it's just, I'm not competing against anyone. The other thing that's neat about, or unique, I guess, about our group is that each meeting, so we meet 2 times a month, each meeting you get an opportunity to talk about your business. I shouldn't say each meeting, but one person gets an opportunity to talk about their business. And we have sort of a schedule, so you know when you're going to have your opportunity to talk about your business. You got about 10 minutes to really showcase your business. So it's a great opportunity to really talk about who you are, what you do, and gets the girls an opportunity to learn more about your business specifically.
And that's an excellent opportunity. So you guys meet 2 times a month, and you know, where in general do you guys meet?
We meet in Orland Park.
Okay, fair enough. And when you do these 10-minute sessions where you're able to speak about your company, you're able to talk to different disciplines and expose what you do to them so that they may refer your services to another person. That's very powerful, that networking ability.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing we do at the end of it, too, is we get an opportunity to talk about how we as a group can then benefit that particular business.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, who is your ideal member for joining the Dynamic Professional Women's Network?
Unfortunately, gentlemen, we are a women's networking group, so you do have to be female. However, any business owner, or not even just a business owner, but any person, female, that is in a business. So if it's a male-dominated business, for instance, if he has a woman that can come out and represent his business, we do encourage the females to come out. But basically, any woman that's involved in a business.
Now, what about a young female who's fresh out of college and she's ready to conquer the world? Is she a likely candidate to join? Can she join?
She can join as long as she is in some sort of business. So if it's somebody that's coming out looking for a job, I wouldn't recommend it. It's more so somebody who's involved in a business.
Okay, so
If that
somebody
makes
who's an active worker and is a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, excellent. Now, how many chapters are there in the Dynamic Professional Women's Network?
Oh my gosh, there's got to be about 20 chapters.
Wow.
Most of them are up north. So, Schaumburg, Oak Brook, Naperville, there's a lot in the northern suburbs. In the southern suburbs, we are the only group.
Oh, wow. So you have a little autonomy from the groups up north. Are there any outside of Illinois?
Yes, so there's groups
wow.
in Wisconsin.
Excellent. How many chapters do you know roughly?
I believe in Wisconsin there's 2.
Okay. Excellent. That's a pretty far reach, especially in a small 13 years of
Right.
being in business. Now, do you ever have functions where you network with these other chapters?
Yes, so Christy tries to do it, I'd say quarterly. Sometimes you can make it, you can't, that sort of thing. But I'd say each quarter she tries to do a large event where it's all the DPWN members invited. So that's another opportunity to get in and meet. I mean, you figure if, say, each group has 10 members, if we're talking 20 groups, I mean, that's
huge.
That's a huge opportunity to meet a lot of women. The other thing with that Christy does is she does have a private Facebook page for DPWN members. So let's just say you can't make it out to one of those meetings. Right. You can also showcase your business on this private DPWN page.
Oh, wow. That's excellent. Now, are these meetings held in Illinois?
Yes.
Okay. Good deal. Now, does the DPWN have any upcoming promotions?
Yeah, so our chapter specifically is going to have an event May 17th.
Okay.
It's an open house, so it's an opportunity for women to come and just check out our group, see what we're about. We do meet, normal meetings are from 11:15 until 12:45. 11:15 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. So it is a lunchtime meeting. So this meeting, our open house, will be during our normal meeting hours.
Okay, and if you want some more information on that, you can go online to www.tinleychamber.org to find out more information. Now, Kelly, our time is fleeting, so do you have a message you want to give to some of the young women viewers out there?
Yeah, definitely. I would say give us a shot. Come check it out. I mean, just see what we're about. And there's no fee to just come and sit in on a meeting. It's a great opportunity to meet some other women, and we'd love to have you.
Well, excellent. Kelly, thank you for being on our show. The Dynamic Professional Women's Network sounds an absolutely great idea for women to network and to promote their businesses. So thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Awesome. Thanks.
Our last guest is the owner of Breathe Fitness Incorporated. Please welcome Yoli Cox to the show. Welcome, Yoli.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited to finally get to meet you in person. Tell us a little bit more about your company, Breathe Fitness Incorporated.
You know, I absolutely love being the owner of Breathe. It started way down deep. It's a passion of mine to just be in the fitness industry. And from, early childhood right on up through adulthood, I struggled with weight.
Wow.
It took me a little while to really get that in my mind that I might have some issues when it comes to, going back and forth with weight. And it was not until I got to my last doctor's appointment while I was in college, and she wanted to put me on cholesterol medicine, high blood pressure medicine, a lot of things that, you really have to think about, because that's something you have to be invested in every single day.
Absolutely.
And it was at that point that I thought, you know what, I got to do something different. And that's when I started jumping into being a part of a health and wellness environment. So really doing something healthy with my life. And that's where Breathe Fitness came from. It's all about being able to breathe and let go of some things that have been holding you back. And that one was mine.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And the struggle is real. Those holidays come,
Yes.
and the waistline grows.
Yes.
It's sometimes a fact of life. But now your journey, which is interesting, is it was to help yourself. Now you're helping others. And
Absolutely.
That's excellent. Now you mentioned you have a tagline.
Yes, let it out, Garrett.
Now, what does that mean? Let it out.
You know, when women come into this facility, the idea is to come in and leave everything behind. Whether it's work, it's kids, you take care of every single thing all day long.
So true.
And when you walk through the doors of Breathe Fitness, you get to let it all out and let it all go and be there in the moment for yourself.
Excellent, excellent. So you mentioned your clientele. So it's women-based?
Absolutely,
So
all women.
What is the criteria to get in? Women, adults, kids?
So it's adults age 18 and up, and I don't care how old you get, you come in and find some way to move around, just do something. And that's really the idea.
Absolutely. Do something.
Yes.
That's better than sitting on the couch
Oh, yeah.
binge watching Netflix, for sure. So during your journey, when did you get involved with training? Was there something that just lit a fire that was one of your favorite exercises to do?
I'm so glad you asked. So I was certified. My very first certification was a class called Turbo Kick. And it took me a while to catch on to it. I started timid, probably like everybody else, had no coordination, had no idea what I was doing. And then all of a sudden, it lit me on fire. And I found myself wanting to do exactly what the girl on stage was doing.
Wow. So, I guess you can't demonstrate right now, but what is turbo kick? What do you do when you're turbo kicking?
So Turbo Kick is kickboxing
Oh.
on level 10. It sets to some very high energy music. It's a lot of fun. I mean, before you know it, you're smiling and the class is over, and it's a 1 hour intense class.
Wow.
Yeah, filled with lots of energy. We have a good time.
Absolutely. That sounds like fun too. You know, when time flies by,
Oh yeah.
that's a good sign of something that you're doing something you love. So what is one of the biggest pieces of fitness advice that you can give to some of the clients that come into Breathe Fitness Incorporated?
You know, the biggest piece of advice I would give somebody is to do something. I don't care if it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 15 minutes. It can be a whole hour. If your intentions are an hour and you only last 10 minutes, I'm saying yes to that. Let's do it. The idea is to come in, just let it all go and get something done. Change one thing that you eat into, maybe fruits and vegetables. It's really just about making the changes that work for you and work for your full health and wellness benefit down the line.
Absolutely. And now you mentioned the diet, like changing to healthier foods.
Yes.
Now, I know it's always this constant struggle of balance
Oh, yeah.
of diet and exercise. And what have you found in your expertise? What works for most people, or is there a catch-all, or is it different to every person?
It's definitely different for every person, but I always start with the foundation that made a different me also, and that's the rule of 3. 3 and 3. You just start with taking maybe 3 things away, 3 things that really don't serve you well. For my example, it was fried foods, it was juice, it was soda, it was, sweets here and there. Just taking those 3 things away, and then I started replacing it with more water, fruits and vegetables, and making sure I got enough rest too.
Oh yeah, that's an important ingredient.
Very important.
And I have a question, a personal question. Can the scale ever be wrong?
Oh man.
That's a loaded question.
And for women, of course, it's always wrong. But really, when it comes to health and wellness, it's not about the scale. It's really about how you feel inside, because health is about the inside and out. As you start to change your mind, your heart listens, and then your soul listens, and then everything around you starts to listen and comply with exactly what you wanted to do.
Excellent.
It's a mind thing for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. It's how you feel.
Yes.
Do you feel better? Do you feel energized?
Yeah, well, I feel good. How about you?
I gotta hit the Stairmaster. But the nice thing about energy, it's not like money. The
Yeah.
more you spend, the more you
Yes.
have.
Well, the
And
more
so
you invest.
Oh, yes.
Because that's what health and wellness is all
Yeah.
about. It's about investing in yourself. It's
right.
not about spending and giving it away. It's about taking something that you love so much, which is yourself, your own heart, and investing in it so that it gives back to you over and over and over again.
Absolutely. Now, what are some of the programs that your trainers have that your clients can come in and invest
Oh.
in their own
Health and
improvement?
wellness. Oh yeah. I mean, you know that you got to be ready when you step into Breathe Fitness.
Yeah.
I've got about 14 group fitness and personal trainers ready to rock. My lead personal trainer, Christine, who is also my own personal trainer. Yes, I have a personal
Whoa.
trainer because you have to be poured into in order to pour back out. She's going to be there to really help shape the personal aspects of what Breathe Fitness delivers in the small group. And then I've got turbo kick instructors, I have work instructors, PIO instructors, you name it, pound fit instructors. The classes that deliver the high energy and the fun and the excitement, it's going to be there.
Great. What is, you said PIO? Did I get that correct?
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
PIO is a mixture of Pilates and yoga.
Oh, wow.
Also sets to some real funky music too. It's all about the music.
Well, that's good. Maybe I'll send my wife to try the turbo
Send
kick.
her. We'd love to have
I
her.
don't want her learning how to kick high and purposefully.
Oh boy.
So, what are some of the goals that you would have for Breathe Fitness incorporated down the line?
Oh, you know, eventually I would love to be able to expand Breathe Fitness into other locations, not just in Illinois, but probably go globally too. And then and that's long term.
That's long term, yeah.
Short term, you know, maybe within 5 years, I would love to be able to expand into a training facility. I run obstacle course races.
Oh, wow.
And I know
Spartan?
that, yes,
Oh, wow.
absolutely love it. I've been electrocuted in another race before. I mean, I do things like that. And I found other women that really enjoy that too, but they don't really have a place to train for it without getting involved with a lot of other people that, you know, might crowd their vision to say that, yes, I can do it all. So I want Breathe Fitness to offer that possibility for women also.
Excellent. Now, Breathe Fitness, I hear, the doors aren't open yet, but they're opening soon?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. So what would you like to say to our audience members, the women out there who want to improve their own health and wealth and fitness about coming to Breathe Fitness Incorporated?
Listen, when you walk through the doors of Breathe Fitness, know a couple things. One, when you walk in, it's all about you, and you will be able to let it out and just be yourself. We want to provide unique programming to you so that you can have a lot of fun, and we want you to connect with a family so that you have the support there to get exactly what you need, and above all, deliver lasting results that's going to take you far down the road. You'll want to be there. I just know it.
Well, thank you, Yoli, for coming on today's show, and best success for your business.
Thank you.
And if you want to learn more about all our guests and their businesses on today's show, please go online to www.tinleychamber.org or call in at 708-532-5700. That's our show for this month. I want to thank all our guests for being here, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next month.